We live in an exciting, spectacular world. And with all the excitement and beauty, there are still so many sources of stressors in our world. As adults, there are many resources that we have to help us learn about our stress and how to lower and decrease our stress. I'm Dr. Ellen. Today, I'm going to talk about how we as parents can help our kids of all ages learn how to understand stress and manage and lower stress in their lives. And I think that's one of the key life skills we can give our kids because no matter what, all people, all kids of all ages are exposed to some levels of stress. I do want to mention that if you think your child needs professional help, do make sure they get that in addition to what you can do as a parent. But again, all children are exposed to some levels of stress and some sources of stress. And today, I want to help provide you with strategies of how you can help your child. And again, children of all ages, from toddlers and tweens and teens, handle stress. So, the first recommendation I want to mention is that if you want them to come to you when there are problems, it's really important to create a line of communication that's always there between you and your child. Don't just wait for them to come to you with a problem or with stress and say, I need help with this, because they may not necessarily just show up with a problem. But keep an open channel of dialogue always, even when there's no problem, and especially when there's no problem. And have conversations with them. How do they feel about things? How's school? And if they go to school, what did you do in school? Who did you see? Who did you have lunch with? Who did you play with? I'm going to talk about a number of different ways of building that line of communication. Um, but again, remember, kids don't often don't come to you. They're sometimes embarrassed. They sometimes think they'll look silly or stupid to come and complain. They often feel isolated and alone and don't realize that they can reach out. And sometimes they're afraid to get into trouble if they're in stressful situations. So again, don't wait for problems to occur and expect them just to come to you. Keep the doors and lines and channels open all the time. And I'm going to be talking about how to do that in detail. But first, I want to talk about a range of stressors that our kids have that are widespread so that we're all attuned and observant and aware if our kids do have these particular stressors. And a first line of stress, a first source of stress is often school. So kids are often stressed about tests that are coming up, about grades that are coming back or grades that they've received. They're often stressed about school assignments, either projects or reports or other types of assignments. Sometimes they're assignments that they're doing themselves, sometimes they're with groups. And social issues, fitting in with their classmates. Are they in with the cool crowd? Or do they feel left out? What about peer pressure or bullying? And for the older kids, drugs and sex. For introverts, there are some specific social issues. For extroverts, there are other types of social issues. And for life and family changes, there's often stress. When there's a new sibling in the house, although it may be exciting and happy news, it's often stressful for an older child to get used to the change that occurs in their life. Moving to a new house, or starting a new school, or a new school year. When somebody in the family is sick, parents or a sibling or grandparents, or a neighbor or a close family friend. When there are issues with parents separating or a divorce, or when kids hear parents arguing, or if they even think parents are arguing. And even if a parent gets a new job, sometimes a child can feel the stress. Current events can often be a stressor. Events like changes in COVID and other news, international, national, and local news events can be stressful for kids. So again, let's talk about the strategies. And the first and the most important is keep that line of communication open so that your child always knows they can come to you. No matter what, your line of communication is open. And have specific opportunities where you do dialogue with your child. What's going on in school? Who do you hang out with? What's happening in school? How do you feel? And when you're talking to kids about stress, it's important to really talk in detail about stress. Let them know that some stress is normal, but we don't want stress to make us feel overwhelmed and like we can't handle it. We want to help our kids go from the heat of stress to have strategies to help them cool down so that they can feel calm and cool and in control again, and that they don't feel like the stress is controlling them. And again, some stress is normal in our lives. The important thing is to be able to understand it and handle it. And I often talk to the parents who work with me, and I help them create parent scripts, both to create and maintain the lines of communication and to know specifically what to say about stress, that stress is normal, that we should all have strategies to help us handle stress. And I have some parent scripts so parents can know how to discuss stress. What does stress feel like in our brain, in our mind? What does it feel like in our body? Sometimes our stomach may feel like it's turning and twisting, or we may feel like we're sweating, or our heart is beating, and there are a number of descriptors. So if you think that that might help you, I do always keep some appointment slots for new parents and new families. And you are welcome to reach out to me if something like that would be helpful. I'm going to talk about a whole set of things that I do with parents today. So the second is to share some strategies with kids. If they're in the heat of a moment and really feeling stressed, what can they do? So they may take some deep breaths, maybe count to 10. I even suggest clap your hands just to help break that stress. Or tell somebody. It's important for kids to know they can talk to somebody, to a parent, a teacher, a guidance counselor, a grandparent, a friend. This can all be very helpful. And that's a short-term solution, but we also want to help kids know that they should have long-term strategies so that they can help control the effects of stress over time. So age-appropriate sources like maybe meditation or yoga or exercise. And what about fun in their lives? In terms of handling stress and knowing how to relax and feeling relaxed, what do your kids do for fun in their life? Maybe sports or music or art or dancing. It's important that our kids know what it feels like to have fun and know what it feels like to relax. So that again, when they are stressed and they're in the heat of stress, they have strategies, both short term and long term, that can help them come down from the heat of the moment to feel cool and calm and in control again. And another strategy has to do with some physical suggestions to help mediate and handle stress. So we want our kids to get enough sleep because poor sleep habits can make kids feel stressed just by itself. We want our kids to be well hydrated. And the older the kids are, the less we tend to oversee how much water they drink. And sometimes we don't keep track of how much sugary liquids they're drinking, like soda, or how much sugar they're having in their diet. We want our kids to be strong physically so that they can be strong emotionally. And good physical health helps support good emotional health. So we want to make sure, and I want to make sure that we support our kids with as many strategies as we can, both in terms of direct stress strategies and stress relief supporting strategies, like good physical health and good long-term stress strategies. So for parents who work with me, one of the things that I suggest is to create stress busting programs for kids. And this is from toddlers to teens. We create age appropriate programs for your kids. And it would be first how to create an open line of communication and maintain that. So, how can you, on a regular basis, let your child know that you're available and facilitate these conversations so they're used to speaking to you about issues, so that if there's a problem, it's not unusual for them to come to you? And again, part of this stress busting program is having conversations about stress. So I have parent scripts for the parents about talking about what stress is, what it feels like, that some stress is normal, but we all want to learn to control our stress. And there are strategies that can help us, that we have short-term strategies for in the moment needs and long-term strategies so that we can feel strong and empowered always and over time. And again, you can do this yourselves, or if you don't want to create everything yourself, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you do that. The important thing is that as parents, that we're there for our kids, that we know that we are there for them to help them. And I also sometimes suggest that parents create not only stress busting programs for their kids, but parents and children's stress busting programs. And the benefit of that is that you're actually role modeling. You're actually teaching them not only a stress busting program for them, but that you're going to have one for yourself, because stress management is important for everyone. And that really opens conversations that you might have with your child about what works for you to help lower stress, to keep your stress level calm, and to help you when you're in the heat of a moment, bring it down so that you can feel calm and in control again. So I hope that this topic is helpful. Again, a stress busting program is a specific, deliberate program that you create to help your child and you as well. And I'm happy to be helpful in creating that and leading that if you'd like. I do always keep some slots open for new parents and families. No matter how crowded my schedule gets, I do keep some open. So you're welcome to reach out to me if this is a topic that's important to you. As you know, if you've been watching me in my channel, I am really a full scope place where I talk about all issues: parenting, work-life balance, mom guilt, all types of topics that can help us to lead a more empowered life, to help our families, to support our work, and again, to feel stronger, more prepared, and more empowered. So I hope that this topic was helpful for you. If it was, please click thumbs up. Please share the topic so we can get the message out there, and subscribe so that when I come out with new videos, and I do every week, you will be aware and you'll know when I come out with new topics. I will be back again next week with another new topic. So until then, be empowered, and let's talk again together soon.